Good afternoon. It doesn't matter what discipline or whether it's real or virtual, it is the race everyone wants to win. Welcome to round 7 of the World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship 2023 from Monte Carlo. It's going to be a very, very interesting afternoon indeed. The season is hotting up. We seem to have a two-way fight at least for the title, but there are changes. There's silly season to discuss. Yes, we have a silly season and it's started now, and we're hopefully in for a very interesting afternoon of action. And joining me as ever is Robin Ciuman. Good afternoon, Robin.
Hi, Ash. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, always very special to come here to Monte Carlo and to watch any kind of racing cars go around this circuit. So yeah, very much looking forward to this race. And yeah, it is going to be very interesting and very important for the championship as well.
Yes, some very interesting permutations, especially on the type of track it is. And in case you're unaware of what type of track that is, although I'd be very surprised if you are, here's a little track day introduction to where we're racing today. It's the one everybody wants to win, with every corner carved out of the unforgiving cityscape, the streets barely wide enough to accommodate the machines that will dance through them. Monte Carlo is ready to welcome the roar of WMSC. So let's take a single breathtaking lap around the legendary Monaco circuit with fan favourite Lucas Murno of Infernal Void Racing. It's a very short start-finish straight and we're immediately into the iconic Sandoval. Hard on the brakes, turn left just by that black hoarding on the left, take a healthy amount of curb on the right and run it out close to the walls. If you're not getting close to the walls around Monaco, you're losing time. Up through Beau Rivage and then into Massenet, these two just kind of letting off the throttle gently, especially through Casino Square, then power back down, round the famous bump in the road and into Mirabeau. Full lock to the right, get the car round, another short burst of throttle, then it's full lock to the left through the Grand Hotel hairpin. The urge to put the power on early is real, but you will lose your wing on the wall. Dance through Mirabeau, Bass and Portier before getting the power down again, and it's into the tunnel, and it's a rare breather before the toughest section of the track, starting with the Nouvelle chicane. Lucas here bravely getting over the curb while he brakes, clip the apex at the left, over the curb on the right and make sure he doesn't hit those two protruding little parts of the wall on the left again. Power down is through the daunting to back, demanding absolute finesse and unwavering commitment. Then the swimming pool section, a complex, merciless sequence of rapid direction changes before slowing it right down for La Rascasse. It'll seem like a lifetime before we can get back on the throttle again through Anthony Nogues, Lucas getting over the curb, and that is a breathless lap of Monaco. We are in for a stunner. And I don't know if you could tell from doing that, that was the hardest track day to record all season long. The speed at which Lucas Murno throws that car around the Principality is incredible. If that is a glimpse of what we're in for, we could be in for a very interesting afternoon indeed. Now, all of the drivers were thanking their lucky stars once the forecast for today came out. As ever, WMSC issues a forecast for each race. It is based on the statistical data of the location in the respective month and is prepared by a neutral person. And thank goodness they were, well, feeling kind. There's no rain today. We're cloudy qualifying, mostly cloudy race. We're not expecting any rain, so a dry Monaco today. No chaos, thankfully. Let's see how the standings look before we jump into qualifying. So, Yannis Walborn just holding on to the lead of the championship after Max Riedmuller cutting the gap from Jerez, a race that basically burst into life very late on. But the gap is now down to 2 points. Pascal Poland's a notable absence today for Holland Team Racing, third in the championship. Philip Pushka fourth, Alex Hess in fifth. Let's have a look at the team standings, and Holland Team Racing still looking very comfortable, but like we say, they are missing one of their key players today. They've got quite a good replacement in the seat, but we'll get to that shortly. But yes, they are leading the championship. Maniti Racing in second, Epic Basilia in third, and SCMM in fourth. And there's news about them for their driver lineup next year as well. Now, we also mentioned as well, look out for Optimal. They were eighth just a few races ago. They have shot up to sixth with Reuven Meshida behind the wheel of one of their cars, performing very well and looking very quick again today. So I believe we should be able to jump the track shortly and head in for our qualifying session. It has been a weekend full of motorsport, 24 hours of it if you've been so inclined. Thank you for joining us. If you have, after the Le Mans 24-hour race, hopefully we can keep your motorsporting action just topped up for this Sunday afternoon. Just a couple more hours.
Yeah, and I think we're waiting for the first cars to get around, but you already mentioned it. I think now is a very good time to talk about it. The replacement for Holland Racing Team, for Pascal Pollens in the second Holland Racing Team car, is Owen McGorgy. And to some of you, he might be a familiar name, especially those following the, and I hope I don't butcher this, GPVWC Superlights Championship, which he currently is absolutely dominating. And yeah, it will be very interesting to see how he does here in the WMSC.
I believe in the last practice session before we came in, I think he was within the top 5, so he seems to have settled in very well. And we're on board with a familiar name as well, Alexander Knežević, who has been in the commentary box a couple of times this season alongside Robin. He's stepping in for... Who is he stepping in for? Denny Vella in the better Giulia car. So it'd be good to see how he goes. He's a very good driver in his own right. He was last year's American Monoposto Championship champion. Comes in to be a bit off the pace, but Reuven Meshida has looked quick, and he is the early pace setter. 1 minute 10. No one else getting close just yet.
And this is also very interesting to look for, because we expect Max Riedmüller to be very strong here. This is a track that should suit the Maniti, just like Jerez was, and we've seen what he was able to do at Jerez. He expected it to be a little closer, the field here in Monaco. And as Owen McGorgy, that looked a little slidey there through the chicane, but he managed to catch it. Yeah, it will be very interesting to see how close the gaps actually are. And right now it looks like Reuven Meshida might, after scoring the first podium in his WMSC career last time out at Jerez, he might be in for another very, very good result here, as Owen McGorgy puts his car on the provisional front row for now.
Very interesting. We know that the better Giulia car is more suited to these sorts of tracks, but Team Holland have looked to try and counteract that. They have brought big diffuser and corner speed updates to this race in the hope that that will bring them closer. So it would be very interesting to see how much that counteracts it. Albon only to 5th at the minute. They'll want to get a little bit closer than that. Obviously, traffic here, as ever, an issue. And we don't really know what the situation is going to be like with overtaking round here. These cars certainly aren't quite as big as, say, modern Formula 1 cars. They're also not as small as Formula E cars either. So hopefully for somewhere in between we'll get some overtaking action. But as you can see, they're not gentle. They throw these cars around the circuit, especially that second chicane out of the swimming pool. It's incredible.
Yeah, it surely is. And sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, just say Gino coming across the line to do a 1 minute 10.
Yeah, so speaking about the matter of overtaking, we haven't seen the most of overtakes in the last race at Jerez either, but actually the lack of overtaking and the close following that was going on made it very exciting, especially in the late stages, and I think we might also see quite a strategic race here today as well. For example, what I could imagine some drivers might be trying to do is you have to start qualifying on the amount of fuel that you will start the race on. So I might imagine some drivers might try to run with a bit less fuel than they would usually take on board here, and then try to save in the race, because as you said, it will probably be pretty hard to overtake here around these streets. the ever familiar issue with Monaco, but that might play into the strategic hand for some people here.
Absolutely, and another factor of that is the tyre selection. So before every single race, every team has to select what set of tyres they're on. So there is an aggressive set and a more durable set. As Lewis Hamilton there, another substitute in for Scuderia Cesario in the number 3 car, hopefully going to set a time. Both Cesario cars running there together. Lewis Hamilton and Bartosz Karpeta both subbing in to keep Cesario going this season. Not been the season I think they were hoping for, but hopefully these two can pick up something today. You never know. Bartosz, oh god, I didn't get it stopped then. The braking is incredible. The Nouvelle Chicane. But yeah, so the tyre situation. So there's two sets: the aggressive set, which is your super softs and mediums, or the more durable set, which is softs and hards. And we've got quite a split throughout the field today, which is definitely going to represent how things go. So as you can see at the minute, Meshida is on the super softs. We've got Riedmuller on the softs, Pushka on the super softs, McGorgy and Benton Reader then on the softs. Walborn and Murno have gone on the super softs. Vela setting a time on the mediums, while Gajano and Knezovic on the softs. As you can see, the split there between who's gone for the more aggressive set and the more durable compound is usually they kind of lean, the field leans one way or the other. It seems quite split down the middle.
Yeah, that is super interesting. As we're seeing another driver change, Gustavo Frigotta, we've seen him subbing in for Aaron Curtis for Infernal Void last time out. Now he replaces Alex Hess full-time at SCMM, so he has taken that second seat, and let's see how he does for the rest of the season. Of course, it's always great to have a real-life racing driver in here, and yeah, that shows just how high the level of all of these drivers here is.
Absolutely, as Aaron Curtis heads across the line, back in his seat. Gets a 1 minute 13, but does not improve yet. Philip Beckler here, out of the swimming pool section into Larras Cass. Third round onto the power, the back end drifting a little bit through Anthony Nogues. Staying well away of that curb and across the line. No improvement from him yet. The minute Meshida looking quite comfortable at the front, 0.7 of a second over Riedmuller. And Meshida obviously came to the championship quite late on purple first sector already, so this could be another improvement. So he's really inserting himself as Walborn to get himself up to third. So he's going to insert himself right in the middle of those two championship fighters. If he can keep this up. Heading down to the Nouvelle Chicane. Oh, it goes a little bit deep in there. Not sure what track limits is like on that area. Is he going to get pulled on that? We'll only find out, I think, at the end of the lap. But he is still purple. We'll wait to see if that counts over the chicane there. It's on the ragged edge, it has to be said. Out of Larras Cass, through Anthony Nogues. Perfectly up to that curb on the exit. Across the line. And it looks like it has counted. That is a 1 minute 9.9. Very much on the edge. What a lap. And the pressure placed further on Riedmuller and Walborn. Riedmuller down, abandons that lap. Dario car, unfortunately lost in Larras Cass. But here comes Lewis Hamilton. Let's see what he can do on his debut. He's looking a little bit less rough, but a bit tidier. I think that seems understandable. It is his debut in the car. See what he can do. Is this going to be an improvement? 1 minute 15.7 it is. Sadly, doesn't take him off the back for now.
I mean, in the end, as we were talking about Cesario earlier, of course, in Monaco, the grid position always matters, but in the end, it's Monaco, and probably chaos will ensue at some point, and we can almost be certain that not all cars will see the checkered flag in the end. So just keeping it clean, might be a viable tactic for these guys that are looking to score their first points here, especially also talking about Kostek, that haven't scored a single point so far. So this might be a big opportunity for them as well, as we see Rene Vella also in 8th right now, which would be a point-scoring position in the end.
That interesting note come through on the stream. So Meshida potentially, and this is unverified, but potentially has less fuel with him and is hoping that a safety car will come that will allow him to save fuel, which would explain the gap of 8/10, the next fastest car. It's a risky strategy, but it's also not completely unreasonable around here as Walborn clatters the wall there on the exit of Tabak. All of the drivers who are a bit very happy to get the car across the curbs at the Nouvelle Chicane and the exit of turn 16 in the swimming pool. Walborn fires forward towards the line. It is an improvement, but it is the second. Sorry. Wow, so that could be very important in terms of the championship fight. Philip Pushkin out. Oversteer through Anthony Nogues, charges towards the line, and Pushka goes second. What a lap that is from Philip Pushka, just half a second away. Is the track starting to get a little bit quicker now? Are we going to see times tumble a little bit towards the end of this session?
This wouldn't be unusual for Monaco, as the first sector of Riedmüller didn't look too great, but let's see if he can still improve. Yes, at least he's ahead of Yannis Wilborn, his championship rival.
I get the feeling with 7 minutes though there's a lot more time to be found in this track. So might not be quite over yet. Wow! That does not look... I mean, it's incredible. The car's still got a front wing. I can't imagine that being super quick. Charges towards the line, Lucas Murno. Yes, he has lost time in that final sector. Very out of shape. Did well to keep it going, though. Owen McGorgy, our newcomer today, replacing Pascal Polens. Oh, a bit out of shape for the Nouvelle Chicane. Testing the track limits to see how much he can get away with there, or was that a mistake?
Well, he looks very much on the limit. I think was actually testing the track limits. Seemed to work for him because the time was not cancelled.
Across the line. 5th.
It's an improvement lap time wise, but not in terms of position.
Very important for Owen McGorgy to come in and perform well today. Depending on how strategy works, he may end up needing to be something of a rear gunner or a blocker in the road at some point. So good that Yannis Walborn has someone like him to potentially rely on today, if needs be. Max Riedmüller looks to come and try a bit closer to Meshida, the gap down to just 4/10. Bit tidier into the back. Commitment through these corners is just incredible. You just have to throw the car in and hope it goes with you, and that looks very tidy indeed. In through Larascas, flips the apex a little bit heavy on the curb, but he's okay. Out to Anthony Nogues, that's tidy. Heading towards the line, how much better is this going to be? It is, and it's an improvement. It's down to 3/10, but Meshida is still looking quite comfortable.
He lost almost 2/10 in the final sector compared to his previous best. But Ruben Meshida, what a lap time that must have been. Remember that this is also like 3 or 4 laps ago, or minutes ago, that lap time. So, yeah, I wonder what he will be able to set towards the end of this session.
I believe he is on an out lap now, so hopefully we won't have to wait too long. Obviously, the big difference being Meshter is on the super softs compared to Reed Miller on the soft. Pushka is on the super softs amongst them. Well, Yanis Walborn is out on the mediums, it says at the minute. Yeah, you can see the white wall tyres there. In through Larascas. He's gone purple in the middle sector on the mediums. Surely not. Charging towards the line, Yanis Walborn. Oh, it's enough for second, only 2/10 away. That is an incredible effort on those tyres. What a lap that is. Looks like he's just round up for another one, but here comes Meshdi, who was slower in the first sector, quicker in the middle sector, purple, fast in the session. Through Anthony Noakes we go. Oh, and the back slips out, but he's got it under control. Heads towards the line. And it's quicker again. He goes down to a 0.7. That's a nice 4/10 gap between him and Walborn now. Yellow flag in sector 3 at the minute, but hopefully that will clear. Gajano getting very familiar with the wall on the exit of Sandevot. So here is Walborn. He's not been able to better it this time around. Slower, quite comprehensively, both of those 3/10, and yet he bails out of that one. Possibly try again. Owen McGorgy now with traffic, though. Better Julia ahead of him? It is.
I think it is, yeah.
Well, and that's not going to be, that's not helpful at all. Are they both on flying laps? I mean, if he has, I feel like the better Julia has waited to the very last minute to get out of the way.
Oh, that wasn't ready at all, but that lap is gone either way.
Yeah, he rightfully decides to call that. So a lot of these guys coming in to probably strap some tyres on and go for that, what will be their final run. Philip Beckler has to bail out of that one there. No, very slow around there. Said it in the track day guide. If you try and get on the throttle a bit too early, down the Grand Hotel hairpin, formerly the Lowe's hairpin, you will be greeting the wall on the exit. So it looks like he's just off angle there. With the Nouvelle chicane we go. Nice and tidy. Certainly tidier than some, but it also might not be as quick. We'll see how we go as we get through the swimming pool section. Yeah, he is down. Oh, dear, very, very messy on the exit of there. I imagine we'll see them take quite a lot less risks over these curbs in the race. Max Riedmüller has to bail out.
He still has one more lap to go, so still fine if you bail out now, but for example, Lucas Murner, who just went into the pit lane, I doubt he will be able to set another lap time this session.
But he is in 6th, so that would be a solid position for him. Alexander Knezovic fires up the hill. What will be his final attempt? Dino Square. Around that bump in the road. Mirabeau down through the gears. Love this angle. What a great angle this is as we see them go through. Nice and tidy through the Nouvelle chicane. He's got a Costec just behind him. Now Portier, hammer down through the tunnel. Improvement of 3/10 on his previous best. Could get himself into a point position on the starting grid. There's a very long way to go from there. Slams the wall on the exit of Tabak. Down, unfortunately, but hopefully he can still salvage it. Might as well finish the lap now as the checkered flag is out. Oh, there's a car. Oh, there's a car just off to the side by Anthony Noakes there, so got to keep his foot in. That might have ruined his lap, unfortunately. No improvement from Knezovic. He stays 9th. Here comes Philip Pushka on the super softs. 2 improvements. Can he get himself ahead of either of the championship contenders? Across the line, Philip Pushka. And a purple final sector gets him to 3rd provisionally. Can anyone respond? Well, Reuven Meshida's got 2 purple sectors. Is going to be even quicker from Reuven. A 9.6. Incredible. Here comes McGorgy now.
This is critical.
Could be a huge lap.
Oh.
Not quite.
And Riedmüller not able to respond. He's down in 4th.
That is a huge, huge result for Yannis Volborn at the start of this race. We were expecting him to maybe struggle compared to Riedmüller, but it seems like going to start on the front row alongside Reuven Meshida, and what an incredible lap that is on the super softs. Potentially low on fuel, so he might be banking on some incidents here, but you can't deny what an incredible lap that is by half a second. Championship leader. Really bringing up criminal season to life for Reuven Meshida. Hits he goes. So I believe that is everyone done. So hopefully we will be able to see what the provisional grid looks like for the WMSC race at Monaco. Reuven Meshida. I mean, to be honest, throughout the session, it didn't look like it was in doubt. It was just lap after lap of excellence from him. He is on pole position from the championship leader, Yannis Volborn. Philip Pushka in 3rd, an excellent result for him. Max Riedmüller will be disappointed starting down in 4th. Owen McGorgy, an incredible super sub performance so far in 5th. Lucas Murno in 6th. He'll be very happy with that. Daniel Benton-Reed 7th. Gustavo Frigoth, SCMM, not his debut, but his debut for them in 8th. Solid work. Alexander Knezovic, another brilliant super sub performance in 9th. Renny Vella is 10th. He'll be hoping for Koztek's first point of the season if he can get something from there. Gino Gagiano 11th. Aaron Curtis in 12th. Philip Feckler 13th. And the 2 Scuderia Cesarios at the back of Bartosz Karpeta and Lucas Hamilton. So we'll have a short break and then we will return for what could be a very, very interesting race at Monaco indeed. See you shortly. And welcome back to Monaco. And immediately we have a slight change. So there was a message from Race Direction during the gap that Lucas Murno will receive a 3-place grid penalty for impeding Max Riedmüller on what would have been his final lap. And it seems like we're going to go straight into the race. No formation lap. Lights out and away we go. So, Reuven Meshida, here comes the run down to Saint-Devote, and he leads perfectly, held off Volborn, holding off Pushka and Riedmüller. Up through Beau Rivage. It's all nice and clean looking so far, hopefully, he says. And we charge towards Mirabeau. And at the minute, everyone keep it clean. Oh, McGorgy must have been having... Oh, it looked like he was having a look there into Mirabeau. But everyone running line of stern. It's an incredible start in the background. One of the Scuderia Cesario cars is getting quite a few places. They're both off the back. Here we go. Everyone just patiently through lower section of the track.
Look how close McGorgy is to Riedmüller.
Climbing all over the back. He's definitely feeling racy. And Riedmüller seems to be struggling.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but something must have happened to Daniel Benton-Reader. He's last in 15th. He's still running, but that was not where he started.
And it's all slightly caught us off guard, I must admit. We were expecting a formation lap. There were some technical issues back in Jerez, where Robin, you had to very bravely fill while they tried to work out what was going on. But they did a test before the race and everything worked, so we were expecting a formation lap and then lights out. So it slightly caught us off guard, but we will try and catch up as their tyre selections will also play into what's going to happen this afternoon over the course of these 75 laps, because some people have gone aggressive, some people less so. But Max Riedmüller at the minute is having to fight off Owen McGorgy, the sub for Team Holland Racing. But at the minute, Ruben Meschede is looking in quite good shape, 2.3 seconds ahead of Yannis Waldborn. If he has risked it in terms of his fuel load, he might be slightly annoyed that everyone's been so well behaved these opening laps. And here is the race start once again, and we watched Daniel Benton-Reader. Let's see what happened here. Benton-Reader. Oh, is he just overshot? Looking fine up the hill. Oh, that is
slow.
Yeah, he's backed right out of it up the hill. Is that self-preservation? Has he just decided I'm not going to risk damaging the car? Or was there an issue? I don't know there.
Remember when you were saying that he's showing off where he's going sideways at Kyalami? Maybe he's trying to do a last to first challenge here, and he's already cleared the two Cesarios, so...
Oh, well, yeah, we will see. Keep an eye on that. But Lucas Murno, so obviously, yes, there was a call about 3-place grid penalty. I assume that's going to be deferred to the next round then, because he started where he qualified in the end. So, all good. Carry on. Put head down and focus on today. Running in the points in 7th at the minute. Sandwiched between the two SCMM cars at the minute, I believe.
Yes, indeed. Gustavo Frigot might be on his points finish here.
Very racy at the minute. Very solid driving.
Mentioned the fastest lap, 1:10.4. It has the 3.2 gap Yannis Waldborn in second already.
Incredible. And obviously they qualify on race fuel, so we will expect to see them, especially when they're on fresher tyres, to get close to, if not beat, their qualifying times in the race. And when Ruben Meshta's got clear air, that looks brilliant. But Lucas Murdo at the minute, trying to pull into the back. Gustavo Frigotto. Gentle around Grand Hotel hairpin. One of the key ports to try and have a look. He needs to get a better exit out of Portier. Frigotto has just pulled away. Tyre difference might be making a bit of a difference there in terms of the traction. Frigotto on the soft tyre, Murno on the medium. As you can see, it's medium tyres for the top three. That means they are on the softer set generally. Riedmüller and McGorgy on the hard, so they've gone more conservative. Frigotto, softs. Being told we do have a bit of a sound problem, so we'll try and get that fixed as soon as we can. Lucas Murno does seem to close up through this first sector, but just can't seem to get the run out of the points where it matters on the straights.
Yeah, pretty interesting. He's able to follow pretty closely to Frigotto. We heard by Gustavo himself, as he was writing in the chat last time, out at Perez, that dirty air is a huge problem in these cars, or it's very hard to follow each other. So, yeah, quite impressive that Lucas is able to be that close around Monaco.
I hope that he can hopefully be that close on the exit one of these corners if he can stick with him through Antino, because it's a very short start-finish straight. He's right with him. Here's a DRS zone, and he has a look, but it's just not quite long enough. Especially as wet. Does he get impatient? Does he start looking at some of the more unconventional places? It looked like he was going to stick his nose up the inside at Massenet. It doesn't. Very, very restless behind that SCMM car. This is the crucial section of the track, it has to be said. If Lucas stick with him, but it seems like Gustavo Frigoto is quicker through Mirabeau, Bass and Portier, which is vital because it means he doesn't have to worry through the tunnel into the Nouvelle chicane.
Short update on Benton Reeder's last to first challenge. He made it past Aaron Curtis, so back into 12th. Good to see that his car is still running, so it wasn't a car problem. Maybe a technical issue on his sim rig or something happened there on the opening lap.
Oh, close again. Murno is closed up to Frigoto. Seems to be this is the closer place, but it's just a little bit too far back. Frigoto is just, taking a very sensible line through there, not leaving any door open for him to look into Sandoval. Closing right up through Casino Square. Have a look through Mirabeau. This is the question, but again, it just can't seem to get closer.
I think realistically, there's only 3 where you can actually try it without it going terribly wrong, which is right after tunnel, if you're far enough alongside into turn 1, and maybe a surprise attack into Mirabeau, but he's not close enough at either of these 3 spots. So, yellow in sector 2.
Oh, when it's cleared, always going to be a little bit concerned when a yellow flag pops up around Monaco. Alexander Knezovic on his debut subbing in for Better Julia. He is now currently ahead of his teammate, who's on the last to first challenge. They're behind both the Costechs. As you can say, both the Costechs yet to score this season. They're both sat on the outside of the points, so there is a chance for them today. Who can make something happen in these moments? Because they could follow, or will there be an opportunity? The very front of that is a points position in the form of Gino Gajano. Fallen back from his teammate and Murno up ahead.
Oh, and Knaze is letting Benton Reeder through.
Makes sense in the grand scheme of things. Question is, can he make much room from there? Rejoin the fry at the front, and Philip Pushka seems to be all over the back of Yanis Wellborn. They're both on identical tyres, so there's no real saving behind, but this might play into the hands of Max Riedmuller, who's behind on the harder tyre. Might want to look to run longer. So if these two start fighting each other, I'm sure he'd be quite happy about that.
Yeah, Philip Pushka was someone I had noted down as a potential race winner here for Monaco, as well as someone who might surprise us. He was pretty solid throughout the season here. Won, of course, the inaugural WMSC round at Australia in Melbourne. And not only was it, as you already mentioned, Team Holland that got big upgrades towards the diffuser and corner speed, but Epic Basilea as well. So, and it looks like he might be trying to take advantage of these new upgrades right now.
Absolutely, his pace is looking very good. And as we mentioned at the top of this the stream, there was news about silly season. We didn't know if WMSC would have a silly season, but apparently it does, and it has started. And Philip Pushka is the man involved. Next season, he will be racing for SCMM, which is a very interesting announcement indeed. SCMM, we were expecting them to be a little bit close to the front. They looked quite racy at the start of the season, but unfortunately they've dropped off. But Philip Pushka is joining them, and maybe they can make something happen next season.
Yeah, so this is definitely a strong signing for SCMM and a definite commitment that they want to attack at the top. Bartosz, he's lost his front wing.
Looks like he's going to get in the pits before that becomes for anybody. Just a train of cars go by. There'll be a change for him.
Oh, Pushka is super close to Wilborn. And Owen McGaughey now gets involved in that battle as well. So the Wilborn train is on the way.
Two trains at the minute. Wilborn at the front of one, Gajano at the front of the other. No movement in either, although Benton Reader has managed to get front of one of the Costechs, so he's now splitting them, and he's into the top 10. So Daniel Benton Reader continuing to prove you can make moves around here. Starts the race 6th, drops to the back, already back up the 10th. A very eventful day for him so far. Another bit of traffic in the form of Lucas Hamilton. Question is, where is Lucas going to try and duck out of the way of this big train?
Oh, that's not a good spot to meet at back marker.
And I think Volborn was not interested in waiting behind at any point. He just took it, and then Lucas fortunately read the signs and stayed to the side of the track there. Would have been a bit more awkward. Philip Pushka is just effectively pushing Yanis Volborn up the hill. He's so close at the end of the start-finish straight.
But now he got a little bit out of shape out of Saint-Devote. As we just got message that Hamilton received a warning for ignoring blue flags. This is what happened to Capetta.
A little sort of throttle between Mirabeau and the Grand Hotel Hair. And yeah, unfortunately he got out of shape there. That's how he lost his wing. So, Ruben Meshta, 16 seconds clear at the front, still lapping in the high 1 minute 10s. He just has to manage the race for now. Big question is, can Philip Pushka get past Yanis Volborn? And if he does, would he be able to eat into that gap at all? Trying to find a place to get through. Pushka and Volborn have had a battle on track before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Montreal. That was them fighting for the win.
Oh yeah, that was a great battle.
Absolutely incredible, to be honest. Just when you think one of them's got it, then Yanis Volborn does not give up. Incredible move. Both fought incredibly well.
Yeah, definitely. That move by Yanis Volborn was pure art. I mean, it looked like he wouldn't even be able to get the corner done, but miraculously he did. And well, now Pushka seems to be a bit far away from Yanis.
I wonder what Max Reed Miller is thinking at this point. His main championship rival is just a couple of cars ahead. It's good that he's obviously not out winning, but like probably there's a chance to do some better damage limitation here. Only trump card he's got going for him is that he's on the more durable buyer. We'll have to see. Hopefully he's sat there serving quite nicely, and then he'll be able to pounce later. At the minute he's slightly stuck. Even though we've had one car in the wall, though, it is good to see that all 15 cars that started the race are still running. No safety cars or slow zones yet.
Getting message in the chat that Lucas Murno was in the pit lane already. Seemed to be a pretty long stop, so that is why he's now down in 12th. Remember, of course, he was fighting with Gustavo Frigato. Don't know if he may have lost his front wing or something there. That resulted in that longer pit stop.
The Murno started on the medium and is still on the medium, so it's not to change tyre. So yeah, potentially there was some damage we missed somewhere. I'm not sure. But Rene Vella trying to just force his way alongside Gino Gagliano at the chicane, and that's nearly left the door open into back. Vella slams into the wall. Benson Reed is trying to make things happen here. And interestingly, Fekler has lost out to Knežević as well, so two better Julius both hassling Rene Vella.
Yeah, Fekler now disappearing completely. 5 seconds down on Knežević.
Slightly opportunist moment there from Rene Vella on Gino Gagliano. Just couldn't make it happen.
Question in the chat, we haven't had a safe car all season long. Yes, we did. I think it was Canada after the opening lap incident. This is, I think, the only safety car, if I remember that correctly, that we have seen so far.
Yeah, so I wasn't there for that one. I was going to agree with that, but yes, that might have been the case. I missed Canada, unfortunately. We've had a few virtual safety car / slow zones. Yeah, not that many safety cars, and to be fair, one in the opening 7 rounds. Yeah, very low hit rate, it has to be said.
Yeah, and we have said that already on commentary that the driving is extremely clean here. So they're really taking care, hard but fair racing most of the time. Only very few incidents where race direction really had to step in. So yeah, that is very good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's moments where it's I think they're almost maybe get a little bit frustrated more than anything, but even then they managed to preserve it quite well as Rene Vella getting a bit out of shape at the exit of Massenet. He's trying to make something happen, but he needs to be careful because Daniel Benson-Reeder is right behind him. They almost feel that Gino Gagliano is currently doing his best Jarno Trulli impersonation and just keeping a lot of cars behind him. No change from this group fighting over second place. Pushka still right behind Volborn. Riedmuller quite comfortable in there. Magorgi doesn't seem to be fighting too much either. Riedmuller and Magorgi are both on the hard tyre. So both essentially probably mirroring each other's strategy. I bet they're very happy to just not need to burn through those tyres. Pushka might be the only one in this group that will want to make something happen, because he might want to try and get into clear air. As Rene Vella is in the pits. That is a scheduled stop. Started on the medium tyre.
Seems a bit long to be scheduled.
Joins 13th. Comfortably ahead of Lucas Hamilton, but not comfortably ahead of this train of cars. Fortunately, they clear him comfortably. It's Philip Pushka just weaving there through Beau Rivage. Trying to unsettle Wallborn. Is he just trying to pull his car down? I don't know, but struggle. We have a yellow, though, in Sec 3 that is quickly cleared. Concertina up through Grand Hotel hairpin, sorry. I mean, I always want to call that the Lowe's hairpin. Don't know about you.
Yeah, no, for me it's always the Lowe's hairpin. It had so many different names, that one, but Lowe's is somehow the one that sticked to everyone's mind. So
I'm trying to be proper in terms of the giving it the appropriate name, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I might drop that because it's also quicker to say Lowe's hairpin, and by the time you said Grand Hotel hairpin, well, as you can see, we're in Anthony Noakes. We've not seen much of Reuven Meshida for good reason. He's probably very comfortable out front. 23 seconds clear. Managed to start perfectly, and there he is. He's managed to already lapped a few cars and seems to be doing so in good time.
Yeah, and honestly, picking up on the topic that we were discussing in qualifying, that doesn't look like fuel saving to me. I think he is there on pure pace, and I don't think he has not enough fuel to end this race. I think he's just bloody quick around this track.
Yeah, it seems like it, because I would be concerned that, especially after the opening laps where there's not been a safety car, I'd think, oh well, yeah, I'd want to save a bit of fuel, but there's obviously no concerns there. He's just driving very well. His times have dropped off a little bit. He's in the 1 minute 11s. He's still running on the medium tyres for these 20 laps, but he's extending the gap out comfortably, so driving at a good pace at the minute. Hoping to clear this back marker, and does so with ease there. Not Lucas, no, sorry. Have been Philip Feckler, sorry.
I wonder what Max Riedmüller is, how Max Riedmüller is approaching this situation right now, because he knows and he has told us that Jerez and Monaco are two very critical races for his championship charge, because these are the races where Maniti is supposed to be very strong, and he has got the job done at Jerez in brilliant fashion, but now things haven't gone his way so far. Getting impeded on his final lap and qualifying by Lucas Murno. Unfortunate for him. And now, well, he's stuck there. I mean, at least he's with his greatest championship rival, but there is just no way past Janis Wallborn right now. Oh my goodness, that's just as I say it. Philip Pushka trying eagerly to prove me wrong, and that is the opportunity for Riedmüller. Almost 3 wide on the main straight boards. Oh, and there goes McGorgy.
How on earth have they, first of all, stayed in the same order and kept out the wall? McGorgy's still looking into Massenet. Just one moment, one dive from Philip Pushka, and that's a chain reaction of everyone scrambling. My goodness. Well, we'll look through all of that again in a second, but you have to ask, was that optimistic from Philip Pushka? Did Wallborn defend hardly, or did he defend fairly? But wow, suddenly burst into life just as you said it. An excellent bit of commentator's curse work there, Robin. Very well done.
Maybe I should continue.
Yeah.
I don't think Daniel Bentonreader is going to pull off that last to first challenge.
Speaking of which, Gino Gagliano has gone in and pitted. He's on the hard tyre now, which has freed Bentonreader. So Bentonreader, Knežević now in clear air, so we'll see if they can shut the gap up to Fragotto up ahead. But yeah, Gagliano has now cleared that, but we'll stay with this group. And my goodness, Philip Pushka, you can tell he's getting frustrated. Try and find a way past. There is a slower car up ahead. Gap now up to 30 seconds. Ruben Meshida would be very happy. The more these guys fight, he's just going to have a pit stop in hand.
Yeah,
McGorgie's leapt through. Has he done it? He has.
Yeah. Oh.
He's passed Max Riedmuller. He's caught them at the Lowe's hairpin, and what an important move that is from Owen McGorgie. And wow. I'm saying it, there are some set places to try and overtake, or you have to try and catch someone off guard, and he did. Incredible for Owen McGorgie.
And that has made the situation, championship-wise, a lot worse for Max Riedmuller now.
This is the thing, Owen McGorgie is here as a sub as well. He doesn't have a championship challenge of his own to think about. He can absolutely play rear gunner for Yannis Molborn today. So the fact that now Max Riedmuller is staring at the back of a Team Holland car is not ideal at all.
I wonder if he's not trying to get Filipka out of the way as well to allow Wilborn a bit of, air to breathe.
To be fair, that would make sense because Filip Puška must be thinking of have another go. Riedmuller, though, is on the back of McGorgie, and I don't think he's going to take that one line down. The question is, where's he going to get back at him? Very wily move. So much action though that we seem to have a quite a competent and but not much action in terms of the start, and then it just burst into life.
Is he backing off now? Look, the gap between Puška and McGorgie now.
He very much might be. Riedmuller almost pushing McGorgie through that second part of the swimming pool section.
Now, what are the options for Max Riedmuller? Trying to make it past McGorgie, of course, but
very sideways. It's incredible how they take the course in these cars. There's so much oversteer in them, but then it's oversteer where the grip just seems to go with it as well. It's insane.
Gustavo Frigato in the pit lane for the first time. That might open up an opportunity for an undercut for Max Riedmuller, an unscheduled one, as he's now losing touch with Puška and Wilborn.
The interesting thing, does he sacrifice these hard tyres? Obviously, the plan would have, I'd imagine, would have been to go long on these tyres, but yeah, like you say, he's kind of stuck here. Does he look to just try and get himself in clear? He's almost trying to prise open the space around Raskas. That's a little bit naughty, it has to be said. He must be getting frustrated in that car. Must know what's happening. The gap up to nearly 5 seconds already. That has to be deliberate.
Yeah, it surely is. McGorgie was easily able to keep up with Wilborn and Puška, and now Max.
So, when will Max again? No one's really tried it down into the Nouvelle Chain. It has to be said. Potentially, maybe it just gets a bit too tight down there. The fact that we've seen a couple of attempts at Raskas is interesting. Here we go. Go again. Through the exit of the swimming section. Well, it doesn't look this time around. And he does come in. I think that is a good ball. Good spot when you see like a 35-second gap to the car behind you. Get in, get out, do it in clear air. So, important laps now for McGorgie. How long does he stay out? Does he extend, or does he try and respond and get straight back on those tyres? It looks like that Riedmuller has gone on to the hard tyre, but it does usually take a second to update, but I think he has stuck with the same tyre compound as McCorgy. Well, drifting round lows. A vitally important sequence for him. The thing is, we'll see now. We'll see, actually, if he was backing him up deliberately, because surely that gap might start to come down to the cars ahead. Or, here's another theory. Giannis Waldborn was backing them all up. Now, there's gaps between them. Waldborn is trying to take off.
Yeah, but at least Pushka is still with him. And Pushka is... Okay, no. Pushka is passed because Waldborn is in the pits.
Oh, they're all going in.
McGorgy as well.
And now he's triggered it, and here we go. So, Max Riedmuller is only coming through to back. Got a lot of ground to cover. They're double stacking. And that looks perfect. I don't think there's been any delay there at all. Through Anthony Nose comes Max Riedmuller. Charging down the start finish line.
For McGorgy.
Going to be full racing speed. This is going to be really close through Sandervot, but he's able to do it. They're going to be side by side, but an incredible undercut completed by Max Riedmuller. Fantastic work. That just hasn't worked for McGorgy now. This is vital now for Riedmuller. If he is quicker, he needs to get the hammer down and go, and not allow McGorgy to catch him off guard again. He needs to try and get up to Giannis Waldborn. His title rival is now the next car up on the road. Yes, Push will filter back into that somewhere, but this is a vital opportunity. What an important moment that was.
Ooh, McGorgy looks a bit out of shape there. The interesting thing is we don't expect anyone to do two-stop, so if Riedmuller wants to pass Waldborn, he now needs to do it on the track.
So we're expecting these hard tyres to now go to the end. Is that the case?
Well, yeah, you're right. It's very, very early, but yeah.
I do wonder, because obviously not everyone. So McGorgy and Riedmuller were on hards then, and they've gone in. Now, obviously, that stop might not have been necessitated by the wear. Like you said, he might have been just trying to do it because he had the opportunity to attempt the undercut. We will see as Lucas Murno there climbing all over the back of Alexander Knezovic. I feel like that is the only way cars are going to get around here. They're taking a few liberties with the structural integrity of their car and just try and find a gap. But at the minute, Lucas Murno is absolutely flying. In terms of people who haven't stopped, Ruben Meshda, Philip Pushka, Daniel Benterida and Alexander Knezovic, I believe, are the only people now who've yet to stop. So Murno doesn't need to maybe go crazy in terms of trying to fight his way past Knezovic at this point. But then again, Benton Reeder's also not stopped, so he might want to try and get past him as well, and doesn't want to be held up too much. Right under the gearbox through Raskas. Right with him. He's really tucked up under it. This could be a good opportunity. Is he going to look to the outside of Sandervot? He is, but it's not the place. Oh! And Murno is in the wall. And we
front wing gone as well. Oh.
You know what? I completely appreciate that there was an opportunity, and Philip's in the pits now. Let's see where he filters back out. There's 7 seconds between Waldborn and Riedmuller. He could filter in between them, or will Pushka do the job? And Pushka, it looks like medium tyres going on. And Waldborn looks he's comfortably going to get through here. There we go. Philip Pushka rejoins in third. Those pit stops have now spaced it out, and Reid Miller's done a good job. He's got 2 seconds on McGorgy now. The question is, can he get in to Philip Pushka? Do a bit more damage limitation. Very nicely out of the way there from Carpetta to make sure that Reid Miller is not impeded too much. Got Lucas Hamilton, the other Cesario, in the pits. Now, Lucas Murno is in for his wing change. We'll see where he comes back out. That's really unfortunate. He was looking maybe at 6th place in this race.
Yeah, and I'm very much afraid that has ended his streak of consecutive points finishes that he started. I think it was in... Was it in Watkins Glen? Canada even. But yeah, that was way too aggressive into Sandivod.
I appreciate that, the gap was there, even if to force him off line up the hill, but yeah, he just carried way too much speed in, unfortunately. And yeah. Some insane moves we've had this afternoon. Into Raskas, into Lowe's hairpin. There's been some moves this afternoon. It's good it's not been a complete procession. Might not be done yet. Philip Pushka has very quickly wheeled back in the ice Volbon. They have both once again gone for the medium tyre, which for them is the hardest compound in the sets that they have picked. They could literally not pick a harder tyre. Very just behind there. Reid Miller not too far away as well. McGorgy seems to have dropped back quite considerably.
Maybe let's wait if the Bullbone train rebuilds, and then McGorgy might just be at the end of that train once again. And then Reid Miller will be put under pressure as well. McGorgy is really dropping back now, you're right, yeah. 6.7 now a gap.
Yeah, he's just appearing into the frame there. Now, an interesting battle might start developing for 6th place as well. So at the minute, both Better Julia cars have not stopped. And they are essentially looking... Well, at the minute, Daniel Benton Reader is quite comfortable by himself. By the time he stopped, quite close to Fragotto. And by the end of the race, I imagine Fragotto, Benton Reader, and potentially Knezovic, if he can catch up, because he will definitely lose out at the most of the pit stops. They all might be in a 3-way fight for 6th place as well, so that is also developing.
Yeah, and another reason why we should watch these Better Julias is that they started on the hard tyre, and they might tell us how long you can go with that hard tyre, and whether Woolborn, Pushka, Reid Miller, McGorgy might be able to make it to the end. Woolborn, of course, he's even on the medium tyre, so it's also something to consider.
Uven Meshta there just laying down a marker. 1 minute 10.1 from him. Very comfortable up the front. Interesting, the timing screen is showing that Owen McGorgy's on an outlap, which he isn't. Usually it shows that when someone has breached track limits. Obviously breaching track limits at Monaco is quite specialty, but there are a couple of places you can do it. So maybe he's getting a little bit messy over the chicanes somewhere, trying to get back up with this train. Usually we get warnings from the race direction about final warnings and driving standards. Nothing about this, unless the race directors have spoken to them. But I I'm surprised we've not had like a general warning of, you know, guys, you're getting a little bit rough here.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, especially about that Riedmüller-McGorgy situation, when Riedmüller really tried to shove McGorgy out of the way at Rescas, I think it was.
Ashton going quicker again, another 1 minute 10.1. And I believe, and yes, Knežević is finally in the pits. We'll see where he filters back in. Got Gajano behind him. There might be still a chance at a sole point for him today. And a penalty has been delivered to Lucas Murno. So, I am not sure. We've not had any note about that from race directors. So I don't know if that is for... I think he's just driving through by the look of it. I don't know if that's for track limits. Yeah, Lucas Murno, his day going from bad to worse, unfortunately.
But I can only imagine that it has to be... Oh, I got a message. Maybe this is the explanation. Yeah, the penalty for Lucas Murno is most likely for track limits. Because I don't remember any situation where he should have... I mean, the situation with Knežević, I mean, he took himself out pretty much, so...
yeah, it
enough
resolved
of a
itself.
penalty for that.
Yeah. So Gustavo Frigoto now running well. He's about 20 seconds behind Daniel Benton-Reeder. He's got clear air. Was just a second behind Knežević. This is an important few laps for him. A bit messy there, though, through Massenet. Because Benton-Reeder will be looking to stop soon, I imagine, as well. That's about 30-odd laps on those hard tyres. So, I'm not sure if at the end on just this one stop, but we will see. Ron Curtis coming in for Infernal Heat. I believe that's their second stop of the day, I think.
Yeah, I think it's even the third one. Lucas stopped very early. Had a long pit stop there. Then he had this front ring change, and now he's in again.
And I think we've just seen Benton-Reeder go past the screen.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
This is the for 6th place. If Frigoto could come by, the gap is coming down. I think Frigoto might have done this. I think Frigoto is passed as Benton-Reeder is leaving the pit box. So Benton-Reeder will have slightly fresher rubber. See if he can close the gap. Going 2nd place. Filip Puška doesn't seem to have made any more moves since. Again, tucking up under Ellis Volborn, hoping to maybe catch off guard.
But both Better Julius now stopping around the 35, 37-ish mark of this race is good news for Max Riedmüller, because another round of pit stops possibly might mean another opportunity for him to make moves without having to do it on track, by maybe trying another undercut. It worked against McGorgy. It might work against Puška and Volborn as well.
Alexander Knežević could be fighting for a point on his debut in the WMSC. Subbing in this afternoon. Got to get past Gino Gajano to do it. I do wonder if the Better Julias are the only ones in earnest trying to one-stop, because, 35, 37, just under the halfway point of the race. So obviously this second stint will be slightly longer for both of them, but they might be able to stay out. So maybe these guys are trying a one-stop, but yeah, I think everyone else seems to have stopped very early. They'll probably be extending, considering some of the tyre wear issues you've seen from Team Holland. The super surprised. Because they're all driving incredibly aggressively as well. You can't say they're protecting their tyres. They are all going for it. So I think we might see another round of stops here, and this might be an opportunity damage limitation for Max Riedmuller.
Yeah, indeed, that might be. And oh, almost lost it on the braking there, Alex.
He was right to think of that again. I think he saw the moment and rightfully reconsidered the fight another day.
Oh, there is a front wing.
There is, and there is Rene Vella on Bartosz Carpeta in the pit, so it might be an issue with one or both of them there.
Yep,
Bartosz missing a front wing, or Vella's just exiting. And Alexander Knežević trying to find a way through. The age-old problem of overtaking in Monaco, as we've seen, not impossible this afternoon.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of overtakes. I even get the feeling that overtaking in Monaco is working a bit better than it was at Jerez, even.
Which, I mean, as a sentence, that it was not something I would have predicted before coming here.
No.
I think the big thing is, most of the people, especially that front group of Walborn, Pushkin, Riedmuller, very proficient at overtaking, but also proficient at defending as well, which I think is making it difficult. Like, Walborn is, he's not going to give up those places easily.
Yeah, no, it was a bit early telling that Lucas Murno's run of consecutive points finishes might end here, because look where he is. He's arrived right at the battle for P8 here.
Done an incredible job to get
there.
Up there.
He goes into Sandivot once again against Knežević!
Oh, no!
That is a heavy crash into Sandivot.
Has everyone come out of that with their wings intact?
Indeed, yeah. Knežević is still running with it. He has received a heavy hit there. Oh, and that looked like that Kostek was almost losing the area and there as well.
Oh, we've just received word that Bartosz Carpeta is getting a drive-through for blocking at Omagorgi. There's another unfortunate back marker issue. But,
Murno!
Wow!
Back in 8th.
What an incredible move that is from Lucas Murno. Slides it up the inside of Gino Gajano. And what a recovery drive that is from him. Making amends. Incredibly. Well, we've got a couple of things that I'd love to see again there. What happened with Knežević in terms of how that developed the exit into turn 1, but then that move into the Nouvelle chicane, Lucas Murno. Incredible work.
Yeah, you said you wanted overtakes into Nouvelle chicane. There you go.
Got one. Fantastic.
And from what I've seen, we've just seen it a bit on the edge of our screens. It was super clean.
Oh, yeah, I think the door was open, took it, and he managed to stop it very much in time for the chicane. That was probably one of the cleanest ones we've seen today. Brilliant move.
And as to what happened to Knežević, I think he was a bit caught off guard that Lucas Murno was trying a move down the inside into Sandivot. A bit late then on the brakes.
Gano very much trying to learn from his mistakes the previous lap, and he goes extremely defensive, struggling to keep cars behind him. Also, there does seem to be an intermittent smoke coming out of the back of the SCMM car. I'm not sure if that's anything to be worried about, as we get word from the race direction that there is no further action on the incident into turn 1 between Gajano and Knežević. So they're free to go at it again.
Yeah, and without having seen the replay so far, I think that is a fair judgment there by race direction, because I think Yeah, it was just Alex that late on the brakes into Saint-Devote, not able to avoid Gagiano anymore, but Gagiano hasn't taken any damage away from it, apparently. It was just Alex losing out to Lucas, and yeah, I think that is the right decision by Race Direction.
Yeah, very much agreed. As Max Riedmuller is in the pits as we speak. Is he about to try and trigger another round of pit stops? There goes Owen McGorgy. What tyres are we going on to? Is it going to be another set of hards? It looks like it is. Penalty's just been administered for Gino Gagiano, so I imagine that is a track limits penalty as well. After being cleared of one incident, unfortunately fallen foul of another. And that's the move into the... And that's just credible. Side by side, both on the brakes. He just gets it stopped in time. Credible work from Lucas Murno.
Though I wonder whether Gagiano might argue that Lucas has left the track. This is not good for Riedmuller. He gets held up there by... Who's that? I think it's Curtis.
Might be, yes. That's going to really hurt him. Don't think anyone... Oh, Walborn's in. And here we go. So this is to be the run. I don't think, especially with the delay there, that's not going to work for him. So,
no.
Yannis Walborn into his box. Gap is 10 seconds. The car's been dropped. I think Walborn is comfortably going to get out.
Yeah, no sign of Riedmuller.
That worked.
There he is.
The only hope now is that, again, he can shut the gap to Walborn and try and make a move on the road, because so far there's either been between them or there's been another car between them. And Riedmuller will want to get right up behind Walborn and hopefully he'll try and make a move. It's unlikely, but not impossible.
Yeah, and I think X just did not expect the traffic to be this heavy. There was a Scuderia Cesario car he had to clear as well. We just saw when he came around turn 1. So that has cost him a shot there at the undercut.
This is a look back to the incident between Knežević and Gagiano, and I think it's just a last-minute decision, unfortunately. Unfortunately not thought that through. But here is Philip Pushka, so he's currently tucked up behind another back marker. Looks like one of the Scuderia Cesario cars, or is that SCMM, sorry?
It's an SCMM, I think.
SCMM it is.
Yeah.
We've got our DNF as well. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Rene Bella is out. Potential that he might have... Oh, and interesting as well, Frigoto has just got a penalty. He was running 6th. And Benton Reed is only a couple of seconds behind, so that might change points paying positions. Seems like must be overshooting the chicanes here. Either the swimming pool or Nouvelle chicane. Track limits are causing an issue, and Frigoto is in to serve that now. And he's going to lose at least one position. Lucas Murno might get back up to 7th here, depending on how long that takes. And is this what happened to Rene Vella? So, start finish straight. Oh! And that might be a disconnect. That might be some kind of a glitch. It is a disconnect, I'm being told. Rene Vella, that's a shame. I mean, not in point, but, it's always good to get round and see the flag. So yeah, Rene Vella is out. Oh, and we've got a car. There's a car stopped. That is a smoking SCMM car in Sector 2. And surely that's going to be a slow zone. Gino Gagiano. Was it Gino's car I was saying had smoke coming out the back of it?
Yeah, it was. When Alex was trailing him, we saw that once or twice, and now, well, the engine has given in entirely. Oh, and this is a shame because SCMM had the chance to have the first double points finish in quite a while.
Virtual safety has been called.
You know what? Philip Puchka, now with the chance for a free pit stop, he might clear Woolborn now.
Oh, and Meshad has gone in. He's taken the opportunity. I mean, I don't think he had a free pit stop anyway, but this is going to put him well clear of the rest. But yeah, depending on how long this goes on for, as you can see, code 80 referring to the speed which everyone is limited to under this virtual safety car period. See how long this goes on for. Dino Gagliano, unfortunately, running his engine a bit too hot. Given up on him, and he is going to retire. Not bad for the Zario cars if they can keep running.
Is it a full safety car now?
They've called full safety car. They have changed it to a full safety car. This is very interesting. Philip Puchka is in. So, they are now not limited to the speed. They're not at full racing speed, but they've now been asked to close up to the leader. Out comes Puchka. Yeah, what I was going to say
stay second.
If the Cesario cars can keep going, they will pick up a couple of places, so that would be good for them, even though they're running down at the back. But, oh yeah, this is a real opportunity.
Penalty for Puchka!
Why has Philip Puchka just been penalised? Now, that has to be pit lane speeding then, surely. He's not cut track limits at any point. And I believe the rules on pit entry and pit exit are handled manually, not by the game, so we would have heard if he's breached, pit exit line. Might have been done for pit lane speeding. Bartosz Karpeta has also been penalised.
McGorgy is ahead of Woolborn. Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Another smoking car there. That looks like Karpeta. Everyone happy to try and run their engines a little bit hotter than I think they should. You'd maybe take a little bit of warning from Gagliano there, but wow, so this has really changed it. So McGorgy is ahead of Woolborn, which is not ideal strategically, because that means Riedmüller's going to close right up to Woolborn and get on the attack. McGorgy, I'm not sure what good he can do being ahead, unless try and do a switch.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is the Benton read also with a penalty. It's all happening now.
This race has just burst into life. I have no idea what happened. There can't be track limits. Everyone is running slow, surely.
Oh, Puchka now serving the penalty. He might even still be ahead of McGorgy in the end.
Might work out. Okay, here we go. He's going to do it. Puchka gets away with one.
Oh, very lucky indeed there, Philip Puchka.
Pretty comfortably inside the yellow line there on exit. My goodness.
And now this might spice up the fight for the win here as well, because Meshad, of course, he was fastest the entire time. Max Riedmüller in the pits while Woolborn isn't.
So he's got a free pit stop. Is he going to go for a more aggressive tyre, or is he going to stay on the hard, I wonder? Max Riedmüller. Now, at the minute, the timing screen is saying that Max Riedmüller has gone onto the soft tyre, which would make complete sense, because he's going to try and attack. He's going to try and get after. Now, it's not updated on our graphics, so we've got two different sources. We'll see if it updates soon. And we now have a notice from Race Direction that lapped cars will be allowed to unlap themselves once. I believe that is just the Cesario guys at the minute. And
well,
there it
there's
is.
a very interesting question in the chat right now, and I'm trying to skim the rules to see if I find anything on that, which is the question that whether it is allowed to take a penalty under safety car. Well, I'll try to find that out right now.
There is an explicit note with every race that under virtual safety car, you're not allowed to go through the pits to try and save time. However, that is virtual safety car, not safety car, but that almost suggests that, well, surely you shouldn't be allowed to do that. So we will see if there's any penalisation from that. But it's updated now. Max Riedmuller is indeed on the softs. He's going to go on the attack. And if Pushka is penalised, that means that Max Riedmuller might be fighting for a podium position with Yannis Walborn. Fielders bunching up now. Just need to be arranged themselves. There we go. The cars unlapping themselves. That very carefully around here. Still got Gajano's car there. Will be removed very shortly. Daniel Benson Reader in the pits.
So I just had a quick look through the rules. In chat it is argued that it is argued that it is not allowed to take a penalty under safety car. However, I did not find any bit of info saying that in the official rules. So anything it says there in the rules regarding penalties is that a drive-through penalty, for serving it, the driver must enter the pit lane and rejoin the race without stopping. It does not say you can't do that under safety car explicitly. So I don't know if there's any extra bit of information, or if you're aware of anything, Ash, where the drivers have been told that additionally by race direction, and what they're going to do about this right now. But I couldn't find anything that says you can't do that in the rules.
Now, I think... So yeah, you're right. I would say that's almost a loophole. And I almost think that's that maybe needs to be closed. However, the notes on each individual extended race information for race control, it is not allowed to use the pit lane to cut track in a VSC or low zone situation. Doing a full stop is allowed. Race control penalised. Now, while he's not used to cut track, he has still gone through the pit lane under a VSC or slow zone situation. So, in VSC, one and the same here, safety car essentially. So, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like he should be penalised.
Well, on the other hand, you could argue against it that he did not go through the pit lane to gain an advantage under safety car or VSC, but he actually had to serve a drive-through penalty, and that is why he went in. He may have even taken advantage from that, but that of course is against the sense of a penalty. But I think this is an interesting discussion that race direction has to resolve for us, because
I do wonder if any discussions are going on behind the scenes right now, or if it's been noted. Surely the Team Holland guys will have noticed that and been like, come on. They must be shouting at race direction, going, how has he been allowed to do that? I'd be really surprised if not. Now, just a quick note there, as we were discussing the issues, we saw Fragotto overtake Murno under the safety car, is because actually Murno undertook Fragotto under the safety car. He was handing the place back, so they're now in the right order. And also, a quick note that I believe the sound is bad again. Apologies. We are working on it as we speak, so hopefully you can hear us a little bit better already. But yes, we don't have an answer to that, and we don't have any further information yet. If Philip Pushka, another whisper from Race Direction about the Cesario cars, they are both 5 laps down. I don't know if that was them to overtake again. Not sure. In terms of the queue, you can see the Cesario cars at the back. The only car that isn't with drain at the minute, according to this, is the 9th place car of Alexander Knezovic. There he is. So I think he's just joining the back of the queue now and getting into position. So we've just been whispered from Race Direction that Alexander will get into position. And then I believe next time by we should be ready to go racing again.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what do we expect from that restart? I think Riedmüller is in a very tough situation here. He needs to get past Wilbon as quickly as possible, because I believe what the Holland racing team is going to do is that McGorgy is trying to let Wilbon by as quick as he can, so that he is safe from Riedmüller, and then try to back Riedmüller off as far as he can.
I agree. That is a very dangerous game to play. And if it doesn't get executed properly, it essentially means, McGorgy just ends up 5th. But I have a sneaking suspicion that they'll try that too, especially when Riedmüller is on the softer tyre, the newer tyre. And there's had a recall that the restart will occur this lap. Ruven Meshda will dictate the pace in Sector 3. And then there's the question over Philip Pushka. Is he going to try and seize the opportunity to try and get ahead of Meshda before Meshda gets away? And will we hear anything else about, the penalty?
Yeah, and also we haven't seen Philip Pushka's true pace today at all. He was stuck behind Wilbon for the entire race pretty much. Let's see how close he can stay with Meshda.
As ever, it's been another intriguing afternoon in the WMSC. Even when it's not really been alive, there's been questions. And wow, Meshda has gone incredibly early. Lap 53 of 75 will restart under full racing conditions for lap 54. And it's game on to the end. Can Philip Pushka get back past Ruven Meshda? He's not managed to shake him through these early sections, but no silly dives into one. And up the hill we go. So, no sign of McGorgy letting Walborn through just yet. Riedmüller is going to be looking on these softer tyres to try and get good traction or make a move. Quicker the better, while these tyres are still fresh.
McGorgy
again trying to repeat his move on Riedmüller on Pushka into the Lowe's hairpin. And is he going to look again? McGorgy's on the hard tyre. He's surrounded by people in the medium tyre. He's on the most conservative compound, but he's still feeling racy. A bit too far back there to look into the Nouvelle chicane. This isn't what Pushka wants. Pushka, if he's going to have to defend, it means Meshda is going to slowly get away.
McGorgy. That was contact with the wall there.
Gotten away with it. He's not missing anything. Look at how much Max Riedmüller is all over the back of Yannis Walborn. Been a few failed attempts into Sandoval. We've not seen an actually successful overtake into Sandoval yet. And we still haven't. He stays behind for now. But up the hill through Bravage, he's right on the back. And the thing is, he's in the perfect position here because he's too close for McGorgy to even consider letting him by. He'll just go straight through. He's too close indeed. The only thing they can do is just race, just have to push forward. There is no team game that they can play at this moment in time. Again, though, Yanis Walbon does seem to have the better exit. It's a car with good top speed compared to the better Giulia. The better Giulia, the Maniti. So it's saving him, but he's got a real chance of the Raskas climbing all over the back of him. Shades of Mansell versus Senna in '92, just hanging around the outside of Raskas. McGorgy has been served a penalty. That could change it. That must be for track limits. We've said multiple times that Owen McGorgy has been racing on the edge this afternoon.
Oh, contact struggling, gone for
Reed
Reed Miller. He's out.
I don't believe it. Max Riedmuller, the main championship contender, and the car is on fire, and Max Riedmuller is out. That is huge for the title. This was supposed to be a track where he had the advantage over Holland Team Racing, and it's all gone wrong.
Another safety car. No surprise after that incident.
We'll hopefully see that again in a minute, but oh my goodness. That seemed to just come out of nowhere. So, McGorgy in the pits. He might get away with one here, but here is the incident. The Max Riedmuller. Just why did he look inside there? Oh my goodness, he seems to just got caught on the worst part. Well,
that was never going to work, was it? I mean,
my thoughts on that is, yeah, I agree. He's had a half-hearted look up the inside of Casino Square. It was never going to work. But the way in which he ended up in the wall and having all that damage inflicted is also slightly unlucky, it has to be said. From that, I think, okay, you might brush the wall and carry on or lose a wing. But the fact that, you know, the car basically combusted at the end, that's a huge moment. Max Riedmuller, the main championship contender, is out. McGorgy has served his penalty, he's lost a couple of places, but that's worked out perfectly, to be fair, because Yanis Walborn is now on the podium positions.
Yeah, he can just stay there. This is, I think, the last races for him was damage limitation, and in the end, he might even gain on Riedmuller. At least today, he's definitely gonna gain on Riedmuller. He can just stay where he is now. Daniel Benton Reader, who was last on lap 1, is up to P4.
It's still on. The last first challenge is still on.
I mean, if we were gonna vote driver of the day, I know who would get my vote, because that is absolutely impressive.
Incredible. In the meantime, Lucas Murno will resume his battle with Fragotto for 6th. Nezovic still on course for a point on his debut as well. Got a lap between him and Philip Feckley. I'm not sure if they'll allow Philip to unlap like they did last time. If they do, that would make it interesting for the last points position, but we will see.
Does Benton Reader still have an unserved penalty? Oh.
Ah, okay. So yeah, Fekler and Curtis. Fekler, Curtis and Coppetta will get to unlap themselves, which means Fekler and Curtis will end up on the lead lap. So they will have a chance at points, while Cup will go to being one lap down. In all of that, Lucas Hamilton has also retired. Yeah, the Benton Reader penalty. I mean, that happening when we had that just flurry of activity and lots of penalties got handed out. I think I missed that one.
Yeah, me too. I remember him getting one, but I don't know if he served it. I mean, we might just have lost track of it all, because there was so much, and I was just hectically reading through the rule book to see if it is allowed to serve a penalty. Under our apologies for the sound. Once again, the issue seems to prevail. Trying to fix that.
Bartosz Karpetzyna, is this going to be to tire change?
I don't know, but I remember Copetta also getting a penalty after penalty, so maybe this is just one of them that is... No, he's stopping.
You know, as was pointed out, yeah, there's definitely going to be a conversation after this race in terms of, okay, penalties were served under a safety car. Should they have been? Yeah, we'll see if that discussion has, but I think it's been perfectly allowed for the people who've done it today. And Bartosz has now got to try and re-unlap himself. Clear.
Also smoke coming out of his car. Hope he's not the next one to create a safety car, period.
Oh my word! That was another classic bit of commentator's curse. Robin, you're on form today with that. My word! Well, he's incredibly not got any damage. When you consider how hard Bartosz hit the wall then and has had no damage, yet Max Riedmüller's car fell apart on the outside of Casino.
Yeah, maybe if you're Max Riedmüller, you're looking at that Cesario and saying, huh, maybe... maybe switch to them next year.
Good downforce, but the car is unfortunately held together with sellotape. So, Filip Puška will once again get a shot, even Meshida, but what is equally likely is Yanis Volborn might chances at Filip Puška. Now, as you say, he doesn't really have to do anything in terms of preserving his championship lead. He will extend it if he just stays where he is. So, I suppose he just has to think about how many risks he wants to take. Considering he's just seen his championship rival go out after taking a risk, I'd be inclined personally to not try anything too reckless between now and the end of the race.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think it does not make sense to take any risk now for Yanis, because he's definitely going to gain points on his main championship rival. And then again, these were the two very strong races for Miniti, and we still have Monza and Spa-Francorchamps. Actually, the next race at Spa will be one that where Holland is supposed to be very strong once again, like they were in Bahrain, for example. So yeah, just don't take any risks now. Take what you can get here, and then turn it up for the races where you will be strong once again.
Yeah, completely agreed. We'll have a interesting fight for the win. Filip Puška potentially after his second race win of the season. Ruben Meshida pick up his first ever race win around the streets of Monaco. The race will restart at the end of this lap. Again, pace will be controlled by Ruben. Sector 3. He went incredibly early last time. We'll see if he does it again this time. Puška might be wise to that.
Yeah. One thing also worth to point out, as I just took a look at the standings, Filip Puška is also a silent championship contender. And as soon as Wilborn takes any unnecessary risks and loses a lot of points here as well, Puška might be very close to Wilborn and Riedmüller once again as well.
This could be very important for Puška. Maybe get ahead. Is Ruben Meshida going to pull the trigger? Basically at racing speed through the swimming pool last time. Healthy gap there. Back we crawl. Gonna pull the trigger straight away. For some reason, Pushka's doing more backing up than Meshida is. Not going as early this time. Out of turn 16 and hammer down. Off we go. We'll restart the race on lap 61. He's that perfectly. And across the line we go. Meshida from Pushka, from Volborn, from Tenrida, from Magorgi, from Fragotto, from Murno, from Knezovic. Those are your point scorers at the minute, but it can still change as they work their way up the hill through Massenet. Important few laps for Pushka. Is he going to have to go on the defensive or can he go on the attack? Very cruel for Reuven Meshida to end up losing today's race.
Oh, Benton Reader gets attacked by Owen McGorgy in the background.
Oh!
Owen is really trying it once again into Lowe's hairpin. Sorry, got a little too excited there.
That's all right.
I thought it was Benton Reader trying to go down, going around Woolbourne.
Good word. Further back is where it's all happening, but he's got the better exit out of the Nouvelle chicane and McGorgy's into fourth. However, I believe he's just been giving a last warning for aggressive driving, but he's made the move so he's up to fourth, and that is vitally, vitally important for him. Nothing really in it in terms of the championship, but this could still be another strong race for Team Holland Racing in terms of the constructors. The only team really getting both of their drivers consistently in the points.
Yeah, Frigotto and Murno, the battle of the Brazilians that we had right at the beginning of this race, it's back on right now.
And if Benton Reader does still have a penalty...
Yellow in sector 2.
Oh, he's gone, yep. Yeah, if Benton Reader does still have a penalty to serve, this could be a battle for fifth, which would be a very helpful amount for both of these drivers. SCMM wanting to kind of pick up their season. Lucas Murno been on a constant trend of improvement and has recovered well from the earlier penalty. Earlier penalty, and did he lose his wing as well? Has he had a penalty and lost his wing today?
Yeah, indeed he has. What a recovery drive.
This is, yeah, incredible stuff. Right over the exit of the swimming pool section. Into Raskas we go.
Oh,
he tries to switch back. Oh, and they collide. But he's going to try and he keeps his foot in it and he gets the move done. I don't know if we'll hear anything back from that, but he's through. Oh, and I bet there'll be a slap on the wrist for that. My goodness.
Yeah, at least a slap on the wrist.
And yep. Lucas Murno has been given a 5-second penalty added to his time at the end of the race. So it's on now for Lucas Murno. He needs to get a 5-second gap out to Gustavo Fragotto. And Fragotto getting a little bit out of shape out of Casino.
Yeah, I wonder if that in the end is at all a penalty for Lucas Murno, because if he gets that 5-second gap, and I think he can go a lot quicker, might get away with it. But of course, giving position back here in Monaco, it's a bit of a tough job to do.
At the minute, he's got 3 seconds. Well, yeah, about 3.7 seconds for him and Benton Reader. So hopefully he can get up to Benton Reader and not get held up too much.
Yeah, but look at the gap he has already after one lap. This, of course, is an opportunity for Knezovic and Fekala, because if they make it past Frigotto, they might be able to take advantage of that penalty for Lucas Murno. Meshida, Pushka's in the lead! What has happened? Philip Pushka's taken the lead!
He's done it down into Mirabeau. Unbelievable! That's caught us completely off guard. They've driven away from Yanis Volborn, and Philip Pushka has got a chance at his second race win, but Meshida, who has been incredible all afternoon, has got a chance to respond.
How's that happen? I've watched the gap. Maybe it was even a slight mistake by Meshida at some point, because the gap was like just getting under 1 second at one point, but all of a sudden
We will see if we can get the replay back for that. And I think this is going to be it. Here we go. So Philip Pushka.
Yeah, it's a mistake. Has to be, right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did he go? He must have just gone deep into Sandivar.
Yeah, I think he hit the wall. I think he made it through, but then touched the wall. Might have lost momentum.
A man who's not put a wheel wrong all afternoon, who's incredibly fast, and a seemingly innocuous mistake. He wasn't even like Pushka was right on his gearbox when that happened. Actually, just trying to look up the inside of the Lowe's hairpin. Gonna fight for this back with the nail after having such a solid afternoon. He's not going to want to give up this win now. There's going to be a chance down to the Nouvelle Chain. This time.
Knežević is in the pits.
Oh. And what has happened there? So interesting as well, Curtis is past Fekler as well.
Oh, that is tough luck for Philip Fekler. He just would have made it into the points with that Knežević pit stop, but now, and I think we're gonna see what happens. But no, this is Meshida's on board. This is very interesting.
He's cut Sandivart. So to avoid getting a penalty from the game, he's had to back right off to make sure that he's not penalised. As a result, he's had to give up the lead. It is an error. Got a little bit too aggressive into Sandivart. Meshida's not going to give this up. As pointed out in the chat as well, we have two Infernal Voids in the points at the minute. Murno and Curtis. Can Fekler do something to get the first points for Kostec? You wonder what happened to Alexander Knežević as well. Maybe he picked up some damage. He's on the soft tyres now, but can't say that strategy has to be said. He's 30 seconds off the back.
And we said it during qualifying. Today is the day for the drivers that haven't scored a single point so far to get. And it seems like Fregato is going to take the opportunity here. McGorgy, in his inaugural race, will most likely finish in the points. And now, Curtis, Fekler, Knežević, and Kopeta, these are still in the race. And one of them is definitely going to get their first point of the season. What a race here in Monaco.
And there is still the question mark over Benton Reader as well. If he has a penalty, will he shuffle down the order? Will that change things as well? But incredibly, with just 9 laps to go, Ruben Meshida is fighting for the win. We have a two-way for the win at Monaco. Have a replay. Is this going to be Alexander Knežević? It is. So through Massenet we go, and he does almost exactly what Max Riedmuller did. He just clatters the inside wall, Casino Square. He loses a lot less though than Max Riedmuller did. Just a wing. And that's a shame. He's going to miss out on a point on his WMSC debut. And the minute, the gap between Fekler and Curtis is huge. So at the minute, Curtis looks like it will be a double points finish for Infernal as long as nothing else happens. And it's been one of those afternoons. I'm not going to say any more. But now we focus on this. Ruben Meshida. Still trying to fight. Oh, that's why. I'm sorry. Why did I even bother saying anything? Philip Fekler is on fire. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? And that's why the gap had dropped off so heavily. So he's not on the racing line. Surely this isn't going to be a full safety car. Maybe a slow zone. We will see. But the leaders go through. Pushka from Meshida. And we do have a slow zone. So that is essentially a virtual safety car. Everybody is now down to, I think, 80 kilometers an hour, that is. That's why code 80. Everyone has a little bit of a breather before we go again. But Everyone just running their engines a bit too hot today. I cannot believe this.
It is absolutely crazy. As Super Parker is saying in the chat, so much fire today, and yes, really, in more than one way. And yeah, I received an update from Race Direction on Benton Reader. So Benton Reader does not have a penalty left that he needs. Oh, Wilborn is in the pits, trying to take advantage of a free pit stop.
That's an interesting
Where's
decision.
McGorgy? Oh, he's taking it extra
that's
slow.
very cleverly done.
Imagine Wilborn now is in the mix for the race win. Maybe, depending on how fast he is with these tires now.
Yeah, that's obviously why he's gone for it. He's gone for the fresher tyres to maybe see he's only 2 seconds up the road. And obviously, if Meshta is going to fight Pushka, that's going to slow them down. We might end up with a 3-way fight for the win here today. So Benton Reader is going to hold 5th as far as we're aware. Lucas Murno might have something to say, but wow. The attrition rate of this race is like almost 90s Monaco with all the cars that are dropping out.
Yeah, who's going to be the Olivier Panis of today?
I mean, it's written in the stars for it to be Benton Reader from the back, but I don't think it's quite going to happen for him. See how long this
the commentator's curse has been strong today. The more we say, oh, Benton Reader is not going to win. Benton Reader is not going to win. The more likely it gets.
Yeah, I know the commentator's curse has long been a thing, but my goodness, there's something in the air this afternoon. Wonder how long they're going to run this slow zone for.
Now, if the incident is cleared, we might be able to see it now.
Petter is hits. Car is still there.
Fire's out at least.
Dear me. And the call has been made to Philip to retire the car, so I think probably once Bartosz Karpeta is out of the pits, we'll likely see a green flag again. Bartosz on for a top 10 finish at the minute. If he can run for another couple of laps, get past Philip Fekler, he will finish in the top 10.
Now, maybe it's worth to point that out for anyone not too familiar with the WMSC, that only the top 8 are getting points, so...
Absolutely.
Knazovic and Kopeta still without... not in a point-scoring position.
Gap between Knezovic and Curtis might just be a bit too great for Knezovic to put any pressure on Curtis. Hopefully it'll just be a measured drive to the end. I bet these guys are going to be itching to get going now. All cars are out on track. And the countdown is on, and we are green once again in Monaco. Pushka has not gotten the jump. It was a measured countdown from race direction. Meshta will look to make a move. The question is now, the gap is about 7 seconds back to Yanis Volborn. The times are still fluctuating because obviously they've been going slowly. So we'll see what the real gap is after a couple of corners. The question is, how quickly can you bring that down? And there he is, charging into the Lowe's hairpin just at the side of your shot there. But off we go. If these two start fighting, that gap is going to come down. Gap 5 seconds at the minute. Through the tunnel we go. Down to the Nouvelle chicane. No moves just yet. Oh my goodness. And Pushka living on the edge. We've seen quite a few track limits penalties today. He has to be careful. He doesn't get one that ruin his race. Exactly why Ruben Meshda has had to relinquish the lead. Forward we go. On to lap 71. 5 laps to go. Where can Meshida make the move? He's not had to do any moves. He's been quickest in qualifying. He's led. Question is, can he now find a way past even Meshida?
And how much risk is he willing to take? Because second, of course, this is still a great result for Milan. I know.
Oh! Again, he's trying that move that's only worked once today, and even then it's been a little bit rough down into the Lowe's hairpin. They continue. No damage. Gap down to under 4 seconds back to Waldborn. Keep an eye on that. Lucas Murno, though, is on the back of Daniel Benson Reader. If he can recover to a top 5 today, that would be incredible after everything that Lucas Murno's been through. 2 big fights on track in the closing stages of today's race. And there's been a last warning for Reuven Meshida for dangerous driving. Cannot get too aggressive on the attack in trying to win this race.
Busy day in the steward's room.
Very busy day indeed. Yanis Volborn though, ominously a 1:09.5 new best time. Is he going to come with an outside chance? I mean, catching is one thing at Monaco, but passing is another thing entirely. I've seen it happen. It's Murno! That was an always closing gap.
Oh, Lucas, take it slow, man. I mean, it has gone wrong earlier for him.
The last comment in chat, Murno versus Benson Reader, I'm afraid. Don't worry, we all are. I mean... clearly got the pace, he just needs to try and find the moment, catch him off guard. It is easier said than done, admittedly, while you're trying to throw the car around one of the tightest circuits on the calendar. At the front, the gap is back down to a few tenths between Meshida and Pushka. They've pulled the gap back in after those early issues. After the sort of a failed attempt at the Lowe's hairpin.
Meshida's dropping back, and fast.
Has he had let off the throttle again? Or was it traffic? Has traffic just got in his way? A vital moment. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have impeded Yanis Volborn at all, which means there's equidistant between Pushka and Volborn. Meshida is in the middle in a very uncomfortable position. Is this going to be enough for Filip Pushka to hang on? Have the replay. So let's see, was it the back marker? Or, no, once again. He's gone too far over Sandivot. Just pushing it. And has that mistake, actually that same miss twice, cost him today. And again, it seemed like he was taking the line quite sharp over then. But obviously he's not been warned.
I think that might have been for Pushka. This is now over 1 second ago. Oh no, it is not. We should just stop talking. I mean, whatever we say, it's wrong. Or it does the exact opposite.
Again, to quote Murray Walker, we make prophecies that immediately turn out to be false.
Yeah.
So, just over a lap and a half to go. Is there going to be an opportunity for even Meshida? Waldborn is with them as well. We're going to have 3 cars potentially in the hunt for a win at Monaco.
That looked very close to a corner cut once again for Meshida.
He's pushing. He must be so frustrated after having such a controlled afternoon. This could have been his last chance through Sandivot. Again on the edge through there, but he's not having to slow down. He's right with him. Where does he look to make the move? Mirabeau, Lowe's hairpin, Nouvelle chicane. All half opportunities, but at the minute he's not quite there. He thinks again of the Lowe's hairpin. He's got to get the exit out of Portier if he's going to have a chance to the Nouvelle chicane. He's almost sideways coming out of Mirabeau Basse. Decent exit from Portier. I think Pushka might have done enough. We're going to have to see. Will Meshida make the move? No, he's too far back. And I think Volborn is as well to get involved. Only a few corners to go. The last chance. It's a half at that. Is Larascas. Through comes Pushka. He's tidy. It's messy from Meshida. I don't think he's going to do it. Filip Pushka is going to hang on to win his second race of the season. Readable race indeed. Up and down the grid. Pushka wins Monaco. Meshida second. Volborn third. Magorgi, an incredible stand-in performance at the minute, is on his way to come across the line in fourth. And Daniel Benton-Reader just coming through Anthony Nogues. From last, started sick, back to last, finishes fifth. Not a bad afternoon's work indeed. And clearly there must have been some incident between him and Murnau, because Murnau 3 seconds back, but another solid afternoon from Murnau. Frigoto is seventh. Finally, Aaron Curtis is going to be a double points finish this afternoon for Infernal Void Racing.
Well done to the top 8 and everyone who finished. What an incredible race this was. And congratulations especially, of course, to Gustavo Frigoto and Aaron Curtis, who scored their first points of the season here. Tough luck.
Yeah, very unlucky for Alexander Knežević. Just an unfortunate error. The walls will bite around Monaco.
Now, Pushka pushing on the in-lap. Well done for withstanding that pressure put on him by Ruben Meshida these last laps.
Put the message out so we can hopefully get our race winner to join us. But my goodness, what a race that was. It was looking like it was going to be a slow burn, and it burst into life. And Ruben Meshida looked like he had it in the bag, but it is won by Filip Pushka from Ruben Meshida, Yanis Volborn, on a track where they were expecting to struggle. Third place, with Max Riedmuller not finishing. Owen Magorgi, an incredible substitute performance for him in fourth. Daniel Benton-Reader last to fifth. Lucas Murnau survives, losing a wing and a penalty to finish sixth. Gustavo Frigoto on his debut for SCMM seventh. Aaron Curtis, is it their first points of the season, I believe?
Yes, it is. I think it is, yeah.
First points of the season. Despite the disappointment, I think Alexander Knežević can be very happy with a performance in ninth, on the edge of points, performing very well. Bartosz Karpeta is 10th to round up the top 10 for Scuderia, the last non-retired car. Philip Fekler, 11th. Max Riedmuller, the controversial loss, in 12th. Lucas Hamilton in 13th on his debut. Gino Gagliano, one of the other earlier fires we had in the race, in 14th. Renny Vella last in 15th. Apologies again, guys. We have lost it, but yep, we're still with Filip Pushka, the race winner. And yeah, so you obviously had that late chance to attack Ruben. What was going through your head in terms of the restarts?
Yeah, I just don't know what happened because he just slowed down. My guess was that he had like a penalty, a cut penalty, and he had to slow down, but I don't know if it's two. Maybe it isn't.
I believe that's the case, yeah. So from what we could see, he seemed to cut a lot of the inside of Saint-Devote, and it happened twice. Once when he was ahead, and once when he was right behind you. And I think that gave about a 1.6 second gap to you with the race to go. So I think he might have given you a little bit of a breather unintentionally as well. But yes, in terms of if that hadn't happened, was there any places in particular you were trying to eye up to make the move, or were you slightly resigned to second place?
I think I wouldn't have had a chance to go by because she was like a few tenths faster per lap, so there wasn't really a chance. The only chance was like under some circumstances I get in front, and then obviously you can hold the place because it's like literally impossible to overtake if you're not like 2 seconds faster. So Yeah, obviously delighted to actually get a win again. Pace was all right, obviously not fastest, but second fastest, and to get the win, I mean, sometimes you have to have a little bit of luck. So I guess I take it, and looking forward to the next races.
Oh, absolutely. And in terms of the wider championship, you're not quite up there, but you're not far away. Are you thinking about overall, or are you just taking it on a race by race basis at this point?
No, I'm just actually like taking it race by race, but obviously you always have it in mind that you want to have a chance to actually go for the championship. I had a few races that were not particularly good, so to get actually a win again, maybe get back on track to get a few more podiums in the next races would obviously help to boost the morale again even further to actually go for the championship.
Well, regarding that championship, I just did the quick maths as well. You're now equal on points with Max Riedmüller, just 8 points behind Yannis Wolborn. What do you expect from the next races going forwards? Are you being able to continue challenging the Holland Racing Team guys and Max?
Yeah, we have to wait and see. Obviously, it's on my side. I have to up the game a little bit, do a little bit more practice, and actually get back on the pace I was in the beginning of the season. So yeah, I think it's possible, but obviously you have to put in the time and the effort, and only if you put that in, you obviously have a chance to actually go for the championship, and that's what I'm aiming for. If it works out in the end, nobody knows, but for the moment, it looks not too bad.
Oh, fantastic. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us, Philip, and congratulations on a hard-fought win at Monaco.
Yeah, thank you.
And apologies to you all about technical issues we've had throughout the afternoon in terms of the sound and the stream coming off. Thank you to those who are still with us. I can see there are a few still in the room. That's much appreciated. And yeah, what an afternoon. And as mentioned, I believe we're off to Spa-Francorchamps next in Belgium. And Robin, you're not joining us for that one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm taking a vacation. Been here for the first 7 rounds, and I definitely need a break right now after today's excitement. But yeah, I watch. I try to catch most of the race from my holidays. So yeah, looking forward to the next one still.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've left you in the lurch a couple of times, and obviously you've worked hard as well last time out by being the lone voice in Jerez when everything was breaking at the start sequence. So yeah, I think you've earned a good rest. And yeah, Spa-Francorchamps are going to be very interesting. It seems like the pendulum is going to swing back towards Holland Racing. Max Riedmüller is going to be probably very frustrated right now, but hopefully he can come back fighting. The title fight is still on. Thank you so much for watching.